Greetings, everyone. It's me again, Ron from Society and Mr. Ron. How are you all doing? It's always a pleasure to come here and have this chat with the rest of the society. Today, I want to focus on my home country, Nigeria. Something happened yesterday. So there's this gentleman, he goes by the name MD Tiaminu, and he granted an interview to the BBC there in the UK, where he was being asked some specific questions, and I don't know what went wrong, but this is how the interview went.
Overseas students bringing dependents to the UK. It will mean foreign postgraduate students can no longer bring family members with them unless they're studying on specific research programs. The announcement's been made 2 days before official statistics are expected to show net legal migration has hit a record 700,000 this year. Our home editor, Mark Easton, reports.
Lights, a front room in the West Midlands, camera, a YouTuber helping Nigerians come to Britain, and action.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy E to the N.
Among MD's hundreds of videos are guides on how to get a student visa to come to the UK.
Because there's new information regarding the student route to the UK.
Last year, a fifth of international student visas were issued to Nigerians, 120,000 people in total, half of them students, half their dependents. But MD believes many are actually coming not for a new qualification, so much as a new life.
So the student thing is not real. It's not like they need the degrees. They need the degree as an access route to come into the country. So a lot of these people get their priorities shifted real fast.
So it's really about getting into the UK.
Exactly.
And then
it's not about the education.
Job, hopefully.
It's not really about the education.
Nigerians have a word for what's going on here. Japa, escape, doing whatever it takes to leave Nigeria and start a new life somewhere more prosperous. And Japa may explain why the Shropshire town of Telford, with its University of Wolverhampton student campus, now has more than 300 Nigerian residents.
Okay, on the surface, it looks like he threw his entire country, threw Nigeria under the bus while speaking. But I will argue that yes, some of the stuff he said there were true, but the reality is that he said it on the wrong platform, BBC. We're not talking about BBC Nigeria preaching English. We're not talking about BBC Yoruba. We're not talking about BBC any other language within Nigeria. This is the BBC headquarters itself in the UK. And it actually looks very bad when you listen to it. But then again, I'm always trying to be fair. I'm looking at it from the angle of perhaps he wasn't expecting this kind of exposure and got carried away, overexcited, eventually misspoke. I didn't hear about it till last night. I just opened my email and everywhere, everybody, the entire, it's like the whole nation, Nigerians were really, really mad at him. And it was so bad that some people were cursing him out, some people were even threatening him, threatening his life, threatening his family, And I do understand why some people will go to that length to express their frustrations. But okay, see, it can go two ways. Now, this is another interview, same BBC, done by a Dr. Okorocha, same UK. Listen to how he handles the question.
So tonight I want to talk a little bit about legal immigration, because it turns out that through the student visa program, the number of Nigerian students who've then been able to bring a dependent relative in this country runs at about 1 for 1. 34,000 Nigerians given student visas and 32,000 dependents coming in their wake. Now, I'm not suggesting for a moment there's anything illegal about this, but when you think that a total of 1.1 million visas of various kinds were given out last year, you begin to understand why the British population has risen by 10 million since the year 2000, and 85% of that is due to immigration. Now, no one's suggesting that there aren't some great people coming into this country, because there are some great people coming into this country. But a rise of 10 million, it's completely out of control. Well, joining me is somebody of Nigerian descent. He's a regular on GB News.
Hi.
And Dr. Emeka, you appear on all of our programs. You are absolutely proud of your Nigerian heritage and your British present, and you're there in the health service, and you're doing great stuff, and that's great, and we love that. But when you look at these numbers, frankly, if every single person that comes from Nigeria as a student is then allowed to bring a dependent relative, it's a bit of a joke, isn't it?
I wouldn't say that. I think you have to understand where these people are coming from. Imagine leaving your country, your home country, your whole family. You're coming to a new country in, a search of better education, better jobs, a better lifestyle. You can't just leave everyone there. You also want to bring people in there so they can also develop in that country as well. And being somebody who was a product of that, because when I came many, many years ago, my dad came as a doctor, as a surgeon, to come work here in the NHS. At that point, myself and my siblings, we were dependents. We were young, we couldn't work. We were just living at the time. We didn't have citizenship. We had to wait and get our British passports. And then we were able to go through the system, and I was able to school here, go to medical school here. My sister was able to school here.
No, you've done very well. You've done incredibly well. And that's terrific. And that's an example.
We've been exactly in that
how
position.
this can work. What I'm saying
when
to
it
you,
works.
What I'm saying to you is, there you are working for the NHS. One of the reasons we've got a 6.7 million waiting list is that our population has exploded totally out of control. We don't actually have the health service, the schools, the roads to cope with the population rising like this.
It's true, but then when you think of what these students are studying and what they're contributing to in society, then it makes it seem a little bit more logical. Because if you think about the NHS, around 15% of the NHS are people who don't identify as British. And that's not to count people like myself who have British citizenship, a British passport, but I'm also dual nationality because I'm Nigerian. So then you think about this, in London, 27% of people working in the NHS aren't British, and Nigerians are the third most populated country from outside the EU that come and actually drive the NHS
we're saying the poor
workforce.
countries will strip out your talent, will take away your nurses and doctors. They're probably more needed there, aren't they?
Well, I wouldn't call them poor countries. I call them developing economies. And secondly, these people who come here and study here also have their opportunities to go home and give their talents back. So my plan, obviously, is to do a lot back in my country. I was trained here in the UK. I was fortunate enough to be given the resources to study here and work in the NHS, which is great. And then I've seen how healthcare systems can work, and then I'm trying my best to go back and implement them there too.
You see absolutely no problem with this. Nigerian citizens accounted for 40% overall of all dependents who accompanied foreign students in the 12 months of the year. Does it strike you as a bit odd that one country should be 40% of all dependents that come accompanying students?
No, I think it's because of our culture and how we see it. I think we really value it when it's very difficult for a Nigerian who's studying in Nigeria to be able to get a student visa or get a working visa here. And when we do, we want to obviously make the best of it. And that's providing a better life for yourself and your family, and thinking that your family can go through a system with the kids who have grown up here and develop and possibly give back to our country if we can.
Well, never let it be said. We don't allow both sides of the argument on this programme.
Correct.
And you've done a great job, and we love
Thank
people
you.
like you coming here, but I'm just suggesting.
I understand.
There has to be an upper limit somewhere.
Yeah.
Listen.
All right. So you can see when you are an influencer or a public figure. Now I call Tiamin a public figure because he actually does have a YouTube page with a substantial number of subscribers, and he's part of what he does is to help people migrate to the UK using the student visa application route. Ironically, this is the same route he's been accused of burning, throwing his entire compatriots under the bus. A lot of people cursing and pointing fingers at him. Well, you see, after this happened, Daddy Freeze jumped on this, invited him to his live last night to have this discussion, and this is how it went down.
I'm asking you a question. Before you got that interview for the BBC, did you ask, maybe make research or ask questions how this thing goes before you got that?
It's not the first time. It's not the first time I'm granting interviews, and
Have you ever gone to an
I've done
interview with the BBC?
some work as a consultant somewhere, but it's not related at all. But the thing is, there's nothing that informed me that I wasn't granting an interview, because you see, here there are technical terms that we're mixing up. You see, every time you have asked a question or shared your thoughts, you were talking about an interview, right? Is that the word you used? But what you have watched, on your WhatsApp, is that an interview? I gave an interview in the best and the most honest manner I could. If it came out as an interview, we would not be having this conversation, and I will not be having all these people following me. Literally, probably, because it would be balanced. You would hear what the reporter asked and what I said, right? Because in my own head, I was even already editing it. You know, that difference. You know, I edit.
Yes.
Like I do professional film edits, right? I edit all. I did. Wait a second. Wait a second.
All these ones you're doing will not help you, because everybody's after you. Because
I don't block anybody's pathway. Whoever is thinking like that is thinking like that. That's a small mind. The UK government. I'm not even close. This power that you people think I have, I am not the UK government. I said what I said for a 30-minute interview. The problem now is the news feature took what it wanted to take. All right, it took what it wanted to take to suit an agenda. I have picked the message that the media is the media. Yeah, welcome.
That one of your
Yeah, because I want to sleep as well.
Do you need sleep?
You don't need sleep. I don't need sleep.
Why can you not sleep?
I wonder how you can sleep. Yeah, because it's so painful.
Okay, sorry.
This whole thing is painful. It's just like you sold Nigeria
Didn't tell anybody
out.
out.
Period. You sold us out. Yes, you sold Nigeria out. You sold us out. Whether you like it or not. So let's go back there and debunk that news just gave out. Because I don't want to come here to work. Not just to come here and fight for them. They come here to for survival. Yes, we all know that.
Chizzy, hold on.
They don't want to be just a ticket for nothing.
Let me tell you something. I don't lie, you. You know that we say the truth. I know.
I'm so disappointed.
The guy no lie.
Yes, he no lie, but a lot of people know. So what happens after their education?
Hold on.
I'm not here for sponsor. I'm not here for this. I'm not here for.
This decision was taken weeks ago.
Okay, you can see here that even that the freeze was being honest to some extent, telling him that yes, what you are saying might sound truthful, but in the end, you did it in the wrong place. In the wrong place and timing. Because the reality is, whatever he said did not influence the decision of the UK government to restrict the student visa route for Nigerians. After the Daddy Freeze Live, my good friend DJ Mongoli decided to hop on it, and I had my say, and this is how it went on DJ Mongoli's live. Okay, please take a listen to this. Thank you very much. I'm glad that Mongoli and Femi, they've even pointed out that some of what has just happened is something I've been warning against for a very long time, especially on all the lives I've ever been on. And this involves how we paint Nigeria outside. It appears that Nigerian citizens seem to be the only people who don't understand that the World Wide Web actually means World Wide Web. It's not just within Nigerian geopolitical borders. It's everybody all over the world sees all the nonsense you post on Twitter, all the nonsense you post on Facebook. When you're angry with government, instead of you to discuss it among Nigerians, you decide to go social media and be trending number one on Twitter, be trending number one everywhere over negative news. And I know that somewhere in our brains, we think that we are punishing the government. Unknown to us that these things we do contribute to how they see us abroad. We keep keep complaining that they don't respect us, our passports are not good. Newsflash, the validity of your passport or the level of respect they give to you as a citizen has nothing to do with the government in power or the series of government. It has to do with you, the citizen, how you conduct yourself outside the country. We can have a very demonic set of administration for 100 years. But if we carry, let me give an example. Zimbabweans are not known the way they know us Nigerians outside. But they had a very shitty government for many years. You saw what happened between Mugabe and the rest of the world, how they were treating them. DRC Congo. There are certain things an average Zimbabwean or Congolese, in fact, let me, where am I even coding? Somalia has been a failed state for almost 20 years. This Somalia
failed state.
There are certain things these citizens will not ever do, but we go do them. We will do it. We have the guts and the mind to try all those nonsense. These people don't have the guts to even step out of character and do these nasty things. But we do it. Now, it's bad enough that, yes, we have a terrible country. We have corruption going on. We have maladministration at every level. But we can talk about it. It's our problem. It's not, you can keep going to Twitter handles of United States government officials to complain. You can go to CNN, you can start harassing celebrities all over the world, bullying, we've taken cyberbullying to it. So that was my take. I'm saying this not because of anything. I'm not here to support the guy or crucify him. But the reality is that all of you pointing fingers against him and cussing him out and threatening him are equally guilty of the same things. Every time, in the last 10 years or thereabouts, I don't know how us Nigerians, we're supposed to use the social media to our benefit, but we've now abused it to the point whereby it has become so toxic. In fact, the whole world is going through stress right now. Economically, socially, there's stress everywhere. A lot of countries that you think were doing so well are not doing so well. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. I've been in South Africa for a couple of years. When I moved in here over 11, 12 years ago, power outage, just like I said in the video, was unthinkable. But today we have what they call load shedding. We get electricity for maybe sometimes 14 hours, 16 hours. Do you see South Africans going on Twitter to go and rant? Of course not. You won't see it. Now, the funny thing is that it's not like South Africans don't complain. They do complain. They complain on social media, but what they do is that they encode their grievances in their own native languages. So you can see somebody writing in isiXhosa, isiZulu, Setswana. They write these things in their languages and post it. So a fellow South African can see it, responds back in that language. And thereby, they've limited the conversation to just their own nationality. We are always trending for the wrong reasons. If it's not politics, it's a social discussion. If it's not so, it's religious. If it's not religious, it's always for the wrong reasons. And we will try and promote. We never ever promote anything positive. Nigeria has been going through insecurity, attack from bandits, terrorists, and all forms of social violence, like even kidnapping. Every time you see the headlines from these bloggers and influencers, it's always negative. It's almost as if they are promoting terrorists and these criminals over our security forces. It's one thing for our security forces or law enforcement agencies to be abusing the authorities or have corrupt elements among them who terrorize or harass citizens. It's another thing for you to take sides against them, because guess what? The security you're enjoying to relax and type those things, it's being derived from the effort and sacrifices being made by these security forces. But every time we're trying to shame them, we're trying to denigrate them, it's not right. We cannot continue like this. Why can't we trend for positive things? If you are trying to tell everybody that you are from a shithole, right? And it's a shithole situation, What do you expect? How do you expect to be treated? You think all these visa bans, Dubai, UK, and all these negative stereotypes we're getting from Asia and some African countries, it's as a result of government maladministration? Of course not. We are the ones promoting nonsense. We are the ones misbehaving. These government officials, when they need to travel, they are going to travel with diplomatic passport. And guess what? They are immune to a lot of things. You and I are not. Yes, nobody says you should not complain. Complain, but complain smartly, with wisdom. Clearly, you see that because this gentleman, Tiamino, has been used to a culture of every Nigerian citizen going publicly to rubbish the country on all international platforms. He just felt that it was one of those days. Unfortunately for him, he hit on a spot that affects most middle-class Nigerians, especially those ones who want to travel out to go study in the UK, or their children going to study in the UK. And this is where we found ourselves. It's quite embarrassing. Please, my brothers and sisters, we can do better now. We all can do better. We are better than this. We are great people. I believe in all of us. I believe in that country. Regardless of who is ruling, we can always make it better. We are the giants of Africa. We should start acting like it from the perspective of leadership and moral code and conduct. We cannot be nuisance on the social media. We are the only ones doing this. When it needs to stop. Even if you have a problem with the government of the day, whether federal or state, they will leave after their tenure and Nigeria continues. Whatever it is you've sold to the world is what lingers. It's bad enough that each time this same international media, and guess what? The interview was designed to cast a dark shadow on us. And the guy fell for it because he was not experienced. He was naive. He was too naive that he didn't see what was coming. And that's how he fell into this trap. Let us not see this as an opportunity to crucify him. And yes, I think he has been through a lot of emotional roller coaster in the last 10 hours or 15 hours. He has also sent an apology video. I can't overemphasize this. We need to start seeing ourselves as ambassadors of this country. It's not just the government officials that are the ambassadors of your country. If you shine brightly outside, people will see us like stars. If you go and do disgraceful and unpleasant things outside, they will see us as nothing other than the scums of the earth. So we need to change our attitude. I just decided to make these videos to appeal to all of us. Let's forgive Tiamino. He has apologized, and I want to believe that this second apology was a sincere one. I'm sure he has learned his lessons. I'm sure he won't do this again. And for those of you watching him apologizing, I hope you are learning so that you too, you don't fall into this trap. The Western media is not out to promote Africa or Nigeria. You can tell this for free. When you watch CNN and they have to show Africa, they will never show you the beautiful side of Africa. They will never show you the progressing side. They will always show you the slums. And this is what they project to their viewers in the West. This is why most Westerners, especially Americans, they think Africa is a country with people running around naked in the jungle. Well, I think I've dealt with this issue now. Be a good citizen, regardless of the government of the day, whether they are good or bad. You be a good citizen. Hopefully, together, we all can make country a better place and more respectable in the community of nations. It's in our hands. Let's not play into the hands of the devil. Until we meet again, remain blessed. I remain Mr. Ron. Goodbye.